I'll be darned. It's not doing the music again. Can everyone hear me? Why stream your life? See, this is where I quit using the music, and everybody complained that I wasn't using the music anymore. Fuck it. If the music's not going to work consistently, I'm not going to continue to use it. That's a StreamYard thing. I don't know why it does that, but it's too much on my brain right now. Anyway, welcome Friday night open panel. um, I know there's probably a lot going on out in the streets today, so this is just one alternative. If you want chill, top tier conversations, come here. Let's see. Let's just go through the list. Provo is, ooh, that's quite nice actually. I don't want to play it because there's music. I don't know how copyrighted it is, but it's a nice picture of Jesus. It says "Praise be Jesus Christ," and it's some like chill out synthwave music. That's hard to compete with, actually. Let's see. I-Fi is. There's a bunch of people. There's a whole bunch of people. It's Moose's birthday, so there's a whole bunch of people restreaming each other, doing a panel on that, celebrating that. And there is, of course, Verbal Combat. Midlife Bro Logic is watching Kamala Harris live. Let's see who's on Verbal. Animated Effigy is there. They always change the name, so it's hard to tell who they actually are. I don't really recognize any of the other people. Let's see who's on Midlife. I can't tell because he uses the vertical. It's so tiny you can't see who's on. So that is what is happening right now in the streets. Hey, Daniel Barry. What's up? And then let's see what's happening in the streets. Okay, there's the plane crash in Brazil, 61 dead. Deadliest plane crash in Brazil since 2007. Politics stuff, Walls, Vance, Harris, Trump. U.S. to lift ban on offensive weapon sales to Saudi Arabia. That's interesting. Right before the election. I don't know if they're related. And then Ukraine is fighting back. So that's the news from my end. Hey, Proby. How are you? What's up? Just going over news and tweets and stuff. I don't think I have any new tweets since last time. Nope. So that's pretty much it. Open panel, whatever you guys want to talk about, or if somebody wants to come on and start a conversation, I'm just holding the space. There is Friday nights are pretty active in the verse, so I'm prepared for it to be a little chill tonight. Have a cup of coffee and talk about it. Oh, did he try to go on Moose? Yeah, I haven't been watching Moose's stream. Well, I am having a cup of coffee, and I guess I'm talking about. So I'm trying to figure out what to talk about. So we're in transition. I don't really have much new. We got an episode of Survivor in today. That was nice. The older you get, it's really the simple pleasures. It's if I get to watch an episode of a good TV show once a day with friends, a cup of coffee, getting to stream a few hours a day. I'm easy. I don't need yachts and mansions and cars and any of that. I don't even really need to leave my house for stuff. This this is it. This is the life. Laissez les bon temps rouler, like we say. Let the good times roll. Joie de vivre. That's what this is. The joy of life. And hi, Jeremy. Welcome. I don't know if you're new or not. Mm. Well, I don't know. Maybe we could check out some verbal combat. Or at least maybe steal one of their topics. Unless Provo started. No, he's still Jesus, doing Jesus. All right, let's take a peek in on easy. Maybe our boy Effigy. Uh,
Of why we should actually not have like because like like for instance America,
what's the
they've got
topic?
more military bases in other countries than any other country does.
Yeah, and there's a reason for that, right?
Yeah,
Like we've
for
held up
sure.
we've held up most of the planet since World War II. Like the entire reason that the planet has gone from where it was in the 40s to right now is because
Why
the
don't
United
people
States has
know
provided
this?
for
They
us.
see military bases and they immediately tell
Trade and
themselves this
expanding globally, and
dramatic
Yeah.
cartoon villain
we're
story
becoming
instead of trying to find out
Well,
why the
that and
bases are
they
there.
also lent a
That's
bunch of
working out
countries.
well.
All right. It's already getting on my nerves, and we have a guest. So, welcome everybody to, welcome Be More Busker, everybody, to the
Lazy
panel.
Bantan
Laissez les bon temps rouler, cher.
Yeah, I could never get it.
Ow!
Ow! Yeah, dude. How's it going, my man?
Oh, pretty chill so far. How's it going with you?
Great, man. I had a good helping of chicken tikka masala and some garlic naan. That's
Oh, that sounds good.
yeah, really,
Fred,
really.
the fresh naan, like the hot, warm naan.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I'm surprised I didn't have any leftovers. I was so hungry, I ate the whole helping of everything.
Mm.
Which is good because I barely ever eat. I usually have protein shakes or, juice, like, well, juice, real juice, like fruits.
You have a juicer, you juice it yourself.
Well, the tier down from that being Bolt House Farms. I mean, yeah, I used to do the juicing thing. My sister got me into that, and then I kind of like busted the machine and gave up.
Relatable.
Shit. But how do I get out of this?
I don't know.
Find
Where
my-
are you? I don't know where you are.
I'm in the hold on, I gotta just trying to edit my avatar. I'm not still the alcohol fetal syndrome doll baby, am I?
Oh no, it's some guy playing guitar.
Oh, that's me. Okay, yeah, that's me when I was 16.
Oh, okay. Wow. Is that
Nin-
the 90s?
Yeah, 96. This is the thing I thought was up there. The alcohol fetal syndrome baby doll. And it's crazy because I found that on the Facebook, what do you call it? The marketplace that was on sale on. It was
And when it's an actual doll, somebody was
yeah,
you could buy that.
$250 for an alcohol fetal syndrome doll, and I'm thinking, man, this has got to be a serious troll ripoff. I mean, this is and kind of mean.
Why? I don't know. I'm trying to take a break from people and all their craziness. Why would somebody want to? I don't. I think I just need to let this one go.
Well, it's just something I saw on Facebook Marketplace. I thought, man, that it's kind of humorous in the sense that I don't think babies with alcohol fetal syndrome really look like
No, it looked like an alien creature.
that. Yeah, I
It's
mean,
more of a meme, I guess.
I guess it is. I think that's probably a meme baby doll uh, insanity.
Yeah,
But
that's what it looked like.
anyway, so that's me in the. That was me in 2009, back when I could walk and do all the things I used to love to do. 29 years old. Now I'm 45. That's all long gone.
Yep.
That's what happens, man. That's life.
I know, it happens to all of us.
You do shit, it's done, and then you die. You know what's that? That was from a movie called River's Edge that had it's an 80s movie, and it's about a murderer. It was Keanu Reeves, probably his first movie he was ever in. He played this like uh, a high school metalhead, like with a jean jacket and the skull on the back, and he was friends with metalheads, and like they all got drunk and smoked pot and stuff. But like this one guy, I don't want to spoil it, but the point is, this one guy strangled his girlfriend, and it's got a hell of a lot of funny one-liners in it.
It's a
It's
comedy.
it's dark, dark
Oh,
comedy. I mean, like some people might not find any of it funny. I mean, but it was from, yeah, it was probably 84, 85 or something like that.
86. I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, I was close. I remember renting that from the uh, public library when they started having videos at the library, and that was kind of a cool alternative to Blockbuster because it was only $1 or something to rent it.
Wait, the library made you pay? They were free
Well,
at
like,
our library. They just didn't have a big selection.
yeah, I think in the end it was free, but yeah, it was like, I don't know. I just didn't like looking in there, and then I don't know. I just stopped renting movies. But um, I bought that movie like when they were selling it as like, they're selling out their stock, and I was like, oh man, they're selling River's Edge. I gotta buy this. I watched that 1,000 times, man. That was my favorite movie when I was, well, one of my favorite movies when I was younger. All about rebellion and really weird shit. Pot smoking and kids pot smoking, and
Yeah.
well, you
Yeah, I
don't
remember
see
those
any
movies.
kids like that. Like the kid, like he broke into him and his other friend broke into Dennis Hopper played this other murderer who was hiding out, and he was hiding out, and people knew
Well,
about him because he had all the weed. He was the feck weed guy.
I think so. It's River's Edge, and that's the same time as Blue Velvet. They came out around the same time, and he was in both of
Yes,
those.
exactly. Yeah, those are two gems from that time. I mean, like, if you've never seen it and you see it now, you might think, man, this is stupid. But you see when
Blue
you're,
Velvet still holds up at least, so River's Edge may as well.
yeah, I mean, like that had a style to it, and it had this music that was real beautiful. This guy, this I don't know if he's I don't know what European country, but he's got this name that's very different. But he's a guitar player, and he picks finger picks throughout the whole movie. It's really beautiful music.
Is it Malmsteen, the Swedish guy?
I don't know if he's Swedish, but he's got a strange name. I can't even really begin to remember it.
Ingve or something?
It might have been something like
Malmsteen.
it was like something.
He's the only guitarist I could think of whose name nobody can pronounce.
Yeah, the I guess
Let's
I don't
see.
know.
And
I'm lazy. I could look it up on IMDb and probably tell the name of it. But
Ingve Malmsteen.
yeah, if that's listed on there, it might be him.
I don't know. I'm just going by names. Yeah, you could always look it up, see what it was.
You see any good flicks lately, man?
No, not really. I don't watch movies a lot anymore. I watch mostly TV shows.
I know, man. Like it seems like when you're done with the movie, you're like, wait a minute, I want it to keep going. But then with the TV shows, when you get to the end of the series, it's just like, oh man, either it really sucked or it's just like open ended, or maybe sometimes it'll have a good ending. It's arguable, it's debatable.
Yeah,
Uh,
sometimes the journey is cool in
yeah,
itself. It,
yeah. I mean, it definitely, I definitely. That's why I liked Lost. I mean, like a lot of people didn't like the ending, and I didn't particularly
I
like.
can't even get past the beginning. I tried 2 or 3 times to watch it. I just can't
Oh,
get into it. It was so melodramatic.
well, yeah. I mean, it is. It's like made for TV shit, and that's at first I couldn't get past it, and then I just kind of got into it because there's a lot of really strange shit, and it left you guessing. But then, if you want to watch it a second time, you know what's going on, so it's not as, wow, you know, that might be something cool. Oh no, this time I know what that is. Yeah, it's hard to rewatch stuff. Although I did rewatch Oz, I haven't watched that since the
The
90s.
prison series?
Yeah, and it's weird. I haven't watched it since the 90s. I was like, wow, man, this brings me back. And to think about Schillinger, Schillinger, the Nazi, neo-Nazi skinhead in the leader of the neo Nazis in the Oz.
He's in the. I didn't watch it. He's one of the characters.
Yeah, he's actually the guy who does farmers insurance ads. I think he does ads all the time. Like he does the stupidest old man ads.
Oh, like Wilford Brimley.
The contrast is so weird when you think about him from Oz, and then you think about him as this like you know cool kind of little older, middle aged, kind of older.
Who is he?
We are farmers. Dum dum dum. Dum. Yeah, I think he was
What?
the
What's
spokes.
his name?
I don't know his actual name. I never actually knew it, but in the series, his name was Schillinger or Schillinger. A lot of people mispronounced his name in the show, and he always got pissed off.
Mm. How close to that? How close was prison life to the Panelverse?
It's kind of like a weird kind of parody. Well, I mean, like a very harsh parody of Panelverse. Like if you could take it like that, but like it's just kind of like it's yeah. I mean, shit. You got factions and you got this and that with all these panels
Got
and
records,
yeah, and it's fucking
warrants, paroles,
yeah.
probations, addictions.
And and then on YouTube you got the bread catchers and
Oh right, forgot about
the the,
them.
the yeah, that stuff. Like that's all
I'm
stuff.
trying to figure out how Wild West, Mad Max, like state of nature this place is versus the potentials for civilization and
What's that?
community. Hey, Prairie. Good evening to you too.
What was that?
Prairie was saying hi.
Uh, Anybody else want to hop up?
Yeah, it's open panel. Well, not just anybody, but most people. You could try. You could come to the door and see if the bouncer lets you in. If you make the velvet rope.
You got to be the bouncer on the fucking stream yards for sure. For sure.
Yep, panels really are all in the art of who you let in the door. And
And it's
That's always on the host. Ultimately, they're at the
yeah,
controls.
and only you can see the person, and asking to see their face is perfectly reasonable
Yeah,
to see.
yeah, I think so too. Especially with all the doppelgangers that try to show up.
Absolutely.
It's a new world. It's not like AOL had its own type of trolling and things to learn, and then Facebook and MySpace and Twitter and all that. But this is a different. There's
Yeah,
different things you have to learn here than in those other mediums
totally. That's totally different dimension.
because it's more interact. It's that interactive element that
Exactly.
opens it up to a certain type of exploitation unique to this.
A certain type of exploitation. Yeah, really. Oh, there's a lot of exploiters on YouTube also.
Yeah, there is. It's I want to say it's what you make it, but I mean you can only make it so far when it involves other people, and but also I wonder. That's what I'm trying to figure out. How much are you at the mercy of how? Like, is YouTube and the Panaverse going to devolve into a state of humans just as they are? There's like a baseline limit, or
Like turn into
is there room for doing something? Like, can you create like a new baseline for it to like grow toward that? Like leads somewhere higher than that. What is the potential of this medium? I guess that's what I'm trying to
I think
figure out.
there's probably a lot of the good and a lot of the bad there. I mean, like there's yeah, definitely a lot of bad, but then I've noticed with some panels there's good, like where there's really good conversation. And some of these other panels, I just can't take it when like panel channels like want to fucking have battle and all this bullshit. It's just like watching Jerry Springer. I thought that was all long gone.
There's something in us that craves that, obviously.
I don't crave that. If I was
Yeah,
old,
I mean, I
I'd
don't. I can
like
get that anywhere. There's enough of it. I could just go to any panel pretty much on YouTube and
fucking
wait
just
long enough to get it.
and like fall asleep to it. So what? How was your? Weren't you gonna do like a sing along thing or something or other?
Oh, I do. Well, I'm waiting for it to become official. So there's like a YouTube process you have to go through and apply and get reviewed and all kind of stuff. So I'm not completely the through the hoop, the woods, whatever the phrase is yet. But once it's official, then I'm gonna do like a 12-hour stream or something to celebrate.
Yeah, there you man. That's a record for you then. Like push it to the brink.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
I've always been interested from the beginning. The potential of what's possible with this medium, and it's just finding the right collaborators that because I can only take it so far myself as one person. So it's finding the right collaborators that want to explore that together and see where we could take it. And that's where I keep faltering because I get a lot of. This is true in general, just life in general, not even the panel verse, but in general, people I think like to talk and dream more than they like to do, and I get excited by all the talking and dreaming, but I'm also a doer, and so when they don't add up or happen as seamlessly as I'd like or I think they should, I get frustrated.
Yeah.
Because I think I find the right people that, oh, they're talking the talk, that means they're ready to do the actions too. But that's where the disconnect seems to be very often.
Yeah, I don't want to bring up anything sore, but I guess you and Chris are finished doing the stream.
Yeah, yeah. I'm doing my own thing now. This is a solo stream. I'm a
And
one-man show.
he's got a
I,
soul thing. I don't know. I haven't seen it in a while. I
I
don't.
need to recenter on my mission and my original vision and
Yeah,
the direction that I want to take this. And I'm pretty much the only one I trust right now to be able to do that.
yeah. Well, if you want me to hop off, man, like, if other people want to hop on, that's,
Oh, they're you don't have to hop off. They're welcome to come
yeah. I
on.
mean,
And
come on up.
it really this is more like a third place stream. It's just to hang out, just like a coffee shop,
Yeah, coffee shop.
hangout, conversation lounge. So I don't mind mixing different personality types tonight, as long as it doesn't get too crazy.
Yeah.
But it's all, I was thinking about that. The tier system in video games, and they have like S tier at the top. It's something from video games, and S tier is the highest. Here, maybe I can find a. Ooh, wow, this is a really complicated version. Um, they have these little tier. They make YouTube tier videos all the time. They have this little chart. And anyway, you have like S tier, A tier, B tier, and they progressively get of lower quality as they go down the line. And I want to try to keep the conversations here like S tier when possible, and like A tier, maybe some B tier here and there. But I don't want to go lower than like I don't want to go to like probably lower than B.
Is that
And so
your
when the
like?
conversations start to get too low tier,
Yeah,
that's when it's time to change direction.
and that's based on your own interpretation, not like the typical.
Yeah, kind of my own judgment, but also like people are pretty smart. Like, usually, we're all on the same page about what constitutes the type of conversations we want to have relative to other types.
Yeah,
It's there seems to be a general consensus around that type of stuff.
yeah. I see your shirt. It says 1997. Where is this? Is that a?
I have no. I've had this forever. I don't know where I got it from.
97. That was a good fucking year, man.
That's the year I graduated college finally, and went out into the real world, like the world of career and work, and what do you call it? Middle adulthood,
Adulthood.
middle class life. I was so bored. It took me less than a year to pull the plug on all of that, pack my car up, and take off to California.
Yeah, fucking. Uh, by the time I was done with going to college, and I went to a technical college doing computer stuff for office work, which I kind of like doing because like learning Microsoft programs, that's
Hmm.
cool with me, and I didn't want to do anything else. I didn't want to fuck with anything else. I got through with flying colors, and in fact, I helped out everybody in the classroom. They all were pretty much, hate to say it, man. They were, I think the IQ was below 80. I helped out a lot of people in there, and all these people got jobs. And I got a temporary job and then never got another job again. All these other people are getting permanent jobs right off the bat. And the one white guy who's technically not the guy you'd want to see in one of these classrooms, you want a whole bunch of women secretaries. Men don't usually do the secretary work in the 90s, I guess. So, like, I didn't get any freaking job. I got, well, just a couple temporary jobs and then the MS, and that was that.
Was this through a service, like a temp service?
Yeah, there was all temp services. That's all the kind of jobs, opportunities I had after all the damn work I went through with that. But whatever. It is what I went there twice.
My first job after college was like one of these recruitment agencies where I interviewed with them, and they had clients that were looking for permanent employees, and then they would pay the recruitment company to hire me. They would like buy me from this recruitment agency. And so that's how I got my very first real job. I was placed by one of these agencies.
Yeah, yeah, like a temp agency, and
Yeah, and
then
then they bought me. Except it didn't even start out temp. It started out as an actual hire, a full-time position, but they hired me through an agency. So all I had to do was interview with the agency, and then the company that actually hired me just selected from whatever candidate. The agency would send me to different interviews, and then the company would hire me from the agency. But it wasn't temp, it was like direct hire, but through an agency. And so that's how I found my very first job, because they were able to assess my talents and skills and qualifications and then match it to the market's needs that they were already aware of, like the existing needs that their clients had. And so it was a very easy way to route people into jobs.
yeah,
And the companies would pay the bill. It was free on my part. The company would pay the fee to get a good employee like me.
I remember I did a temp job at McCormick's, the spice company,
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
and where I was in the building that was designing all the flavors, and mine was data entry of all these ingredients and this and that, and they let me try out the stuff they were making, and some of it was just kind of like eh, whatever. I mean, their yogurt, I got to try the yogurt flavors, and some of them were like, I don't think I'd buy this. But like after a while, the fucking lady who was the boss in there is like, she said, "Well, you're gonna have to stop going to the taste tests." And I'm like, "Why?" "Well, because you're a temp." "Well, you didn't stop me before." So like after that, I didn't have an argument with her, but she just became a real cunt.
It's never the same since.
Yeah, and fucking that temp job became a dead job, So, but
Yeah.
it was entertaining but that was around the time 9/11 happened. In fact, that was around the time I got out of there. It was right after 9/11. I was in a building and that freaked me out, dude. I was on the top floor. I'm thinking, oh my god, what's going on here?
This was in Baltimore?
Yeah, well, yeah, not Baltimore City, but the county, the McCormick's, in Hunt Valley in North County, and yeah, but like entering all that data, they were gonna make a McDonald's lasagna. They had a whole fucking layout for this McDonald's lasagna that never came out.
McCormick was?
Yeah, they did flavorings for everything, man. Everything you can think of, they do flavoring.
Wow. Is there a conspiracy theory in there somewhere?
No, this is a building I worked at, and they definitely had all the ingredients going for lots of different companies. They just they don't just make spices; they add flavors to lots of stuff, and they help with doing the yogurts and all that.
Interesting. The flavor industrial complex.
Yeah, it was definitely that's McCormick's main thing was the flavoring. But they also, of course, they have the spices. I mean, but you know what? Nowadays they don't taste like they used to. There's something really different. The pepper does not taste like it used to. The even the Old Bay doesn't taste like it used
The
to.
actual isn't it just ground pepper? Like the actual pepper
Yeah.
beans
Just
taste different?
regular black pepper. It tastes a little. I don't remember exactly how it tasted, and I always used it. Nowadays,
Maybe there is a conspiracy. Hey Spike, what's up?
if it's a conspiracy, it's probably not that important. It's just something that
They don't want us to have spice.
they
We
want us
might
to.
get too
No, they maybe they
activated.
found a better way to make money by genetically modifying it, but who knows? Because that is a reality. They genetically modify all plants. Like
Oh yeah, all kind of stuff. Broccoli's not even a real food.
what? A real
It's genetic. It's created by man.
what? Broccoli?
Yeah.
when I
It's not
see
found in nature. Man
when,
created it.
when I
It's
see
like, what is it, cauliflower and let me see
well,
what it's made
I'm
of.
talking at the genetic level. Monsanto is proven to be the genetic modifiers of, I think, just about all.
The uh, it resulted from the breeding of what's brassica? Is that lettuce? Cabbage and mustard family with um, the breeding of land-raised brassica crops in the northern Mediterranean about 6th century BCE. Oh wow, 600 years before Christ. That was even before Socrates.
Yeah, people were modifying things since time memorial. They've gotten really good at it. They can fucking genetically modify everything. You know, like you ever seen that? I saw this show where they took a mouse and the mice babies all glowed because they put a genetic that came from a glowing fish, or maybe it was a what is jellyfish? Do they glow? Whatever, but like the things literally glowed green on the screen. You could see them as because they can genetically and put those those codes into the genetics. That's no shit, man.
What? How did they make the mice glow? They put chemicals in them.
No, no, they put genetics. They put a strand of genetics from a jellyfish into a mouse, and the mother and the babies turned out. You could put them under a black light, and they glowed green under a black light. It's no shit, man. I saw that on one of those learning channels a long time ago, but it is real.
Well, that's.
They do that with
I'm,
vegetables too, man, just to make them grow better.
they
And
put jellyfish genome in them.
no, 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 they're
Oh.
genetically modified.
Yeah, that stuff I know. That's what I was saying about broccoli. Um, but I didn't know they realized how old it was, like how old they've been doing that. But they say that hang on, through artificial selection for various phenotype traits, the emergence of variations of the plant with drastic differences in looks occurred over centuries. So they knew how to select for and breed the traits they wanted in the plant.
That's kindergarten genetic modification.
Yeah, like farmers and gardeners have been knowing this forever. What
Yeah,
plants?
that's kindergarten, like the stuff that these scientists can do now, man.
But I'm looking for the jellyfish mouse thing, and I'm not seeing anything so far.
I don't know if it was jellyfish. It was some sort of fish that glowed in the.
Oh, okay. I might not be searching for the right thing.
But it looked kind of like a jellyfish. It didn't look like.
Yeah, I love the bioluminescent fish.
It has some sort of color to it, like it glows.
Yeah, that used to fascinate me as a kid.
Pretty insane. But like for people in the the people who run the agriculture, they can genetically modify shit so it doesn't go bad, and that's one way they keep it going. They have some genetic way they can fuck with it
Isn't that a good thing?
by science. No, it's not. Unlike when it comes down to it, dude, they're really fucking with the genetics of the shit.
But they've been doing that like the broccoli thing said 600 years before Christ.
I'm talking about pesticides.
Oh, pest. Well, I don't know anything.
They're
But
like genetic pesticides. Like
wait, so they're engineering pesticides into the
yeah,
plant. They're not just breeding the plant to be hardier, to have like
you,
hardier traits to resist
you can
bugs naturally.
you can look that up, man. That's not conspiracy theory. They modify these things to have genetic defense. against.
Right, but I don't know if they're using pesticides in that. If they're
Well,
like,
well, the pesticide being it's grown into the plant, so the bug doesn't want to eat it.
I don't think that's how it works.
No, that's how this stuff works, man. Yeah, I've been looking at into this a long time, and you can look into it too. There really is. They grow the shit to uh fucking have the ingrown pesticide to get rid of
Well,
the bugs.
I would need to see a link or something. But I know farmers know how to make plants like grow plants to be hardier, like what to do to make the species the most hardy through selection.
Yeah, that's definitely a good thing.
But I don't think they do it with pesticides.
Well, not well. They have pesticides anyway on the outside, but the
My
ingrown.
grandpa used to have this white powder, and he would go and sprinkle his tomato plants with it and some of the other plants. It was for bugs.
Yeah, it's. I don't know what was it.
I don't know. It was in a bag.
Could have been anything. Yeah, I don't know. Didn't they used to put rat poison in LSD? Was it
Oh,
strychnine?
I've heard that strychnine was one of
Yeah,
the chemicals.
yeah,
Because when I was on LSD, like you know how you describe your trip, and my friends would say, "Oh yeah, that's the strychnine that you feel." I'm like, "Oh my god, I have strychnine in me right now," and it would freak me out even more.
yeah, dude. Well,
But I
like,
don't know if it's true, but that was definitely the urban legend when I was around too.
from the understanding I got was like it's that feeling where you're just like, and you just don't feel
That could
like
be anything. I might have strychnine right now.
I mean like back in the day like that. But then there was people that say, well, yeah, it's strychnine free. And I could tell the difference between people who sold stuff that like I believed in this one dude. He sold strychnine free shit that was really nice.
Oh man, you were fancy. You got to pick and choose
Well,
the
like
the LSD boutique.
everybody sold tabs back in the day, man. All you had to do was go to the mall. Yeah,
I heard that this is like in the 90s. There's like this one lab out of San Francisco that makes most of the LSD for the US, and that all of the supplies in my town all came from that one lab, and it got raided in the 90s and shut down, and the acid supply dried up for months. It was like forever before you could get acid again, supposedly because this one lab out of San Francisco.
I don't think I don't like acid. I never did. I had some serious panic attacks, but like they weren't panic attacks that showed, except for the fact for people who knew me. They knew I was panicking.
Oh,
I tried to hide it, and fucking one time it was the 90s and this fucking Nazi skinheads outside of this place, Towson Commons Theater. And we're outside. We all got our Doc Martens on. They all come up like they want to fuck with us because we got Doc Martens bomber jackets, and they were like fucking with us. Fuck you, Nazi skinheads. But like I was on acid, so I didn't want to deal with that shit. And then they started looking at me, so I started walking. I went to talk to a cop on acid, and I was just like flipping out as it was, and I'm like, I think those guys have a gun. And I thought they did, but it was a cell phone or a pager. I think it was a pager. And fucking he was holding something black in his hand, and I thought it was a gun.
and you're always paranoid that they can tell, like especially cops. I'm always paranoid that cops know. And I remember one time I had done acid and I had a dentist appointment the next day, and I was still coming off the acid, and I was convinced that the dentist would be able to tell that I was on acid by examining my teeth. And I canceled the dentist appointment because I was so paranoid to go to this appointment and have the dentist catch me with LSD in my system.
So how, they can tell through your teeth?
I convinced myself they could because I was still tripping. I don't know if they can or not, but
No.
I was convinced if I went to this dental appointment that the dentist would be able to he would notice from examining my teeth that I was tripping, and I said I can't take the chance. I can't take the risk. I have to cancel this appointment.
Well, I heard from many sources that your hair it has
Yeah, the test. I used to work for a lab that did LS like drug testing, and they would have to get hair samples from people.
yeah. I never had the hair sample. There's one job I got because I fucking drank so much coffee. I had a whole pot of coffee. I took a whole bunch of supplements. I didn't care what it was. I knew I just smoked pot the night before, and I didn't realize they were gonna drug test me. So I drank all this coffee and all this shit, and they said, well, it was what's the word? It was not inconsistent. It was uh, they couldn't. What's the word when they couldn't tell if there was anything at all in there? It was
Inconspicuous.
it was just like an invalid test or something, and
Oh, inconclusive.
inconclusive or whatever. Yeah, so I came back again, and I was like, oh shit. But I got the job anyway. I guess they didn't mind that. They must have known I had pot in my system. I mean, it wasn't. I only had a couple hits, but that was the day before the test. And
Oh wow, and it didn't show up. Even
no, that was the inconclusive one because I drank all the coffee and took the supplements, and it came out.
I remember when I lived in Austin, I had a roommate that smoked pot, and so it was in the house, like it was in the air all the time. And I interviewed for a job, and they had to drug test me. And they asked me if I smoke or if I had been around people that smoke. And I said, yeah, my roommate smokes, and it's in the house all the time. And
Yeah,
so they noted it down, and they said, well, if anything comes up, we'll make a note of your situation.
yeah,
And so I was paranoid that I'm gonna fail a drug test just from breathing the air
yeah.
of my roommate's smoke.
Shit.
But it ended up being fine. Like I wish I had not had to tell them any of that. I could have just taken the test.
Yeah, man, it's one of those things you find out like as you go through it, and like you find out that this is no big deal. But like the just inhaling it, I'm sure they could tell the amount of THC that be in the blood if it's in there at all. It would be so micro, like there'd be a microcosmic amount. It would be so small. Uh,
Yeah, me and my mom got along best when I was coming off acid. Like that was because I've said before, like there might be some to this microdosing thing that autistic people do. Because when I was on LSD, it felt like all my chemicals were finally balanced and I was in sync. I was in sync with myself. I was timed with other people, and there was none of that frustration. Everything just flowed like it seems to do for neurotypical people. And so when I was talking to my mom when I was high, I was in a good mood. We got along. The conversation didn't have little snags in it, and it seemed to flow. And so I got along with everybody in
that's
generally
all.
better on acid. And I wonder if it is because it like helps balance whatever's off about our chemicals.
Yeah, I found when I was coming down off the acid, I was always in the best mood. Always,
Yeah,
like,
I
cause
was
the
too. For like a whole day afterward, I was.
yeah, yeah, totally. Although I gotta say, like, I did this twice. I worked at a greenhouse, rateable greenhouse, and fucking storefront, whatever. And big copper staple. I put a big copper staple through my finger thumbnail. It was like one of these machines where you make boxes with these copper staples. You put
Hmm.
your foot down, clack clack. You bu- copper staple the box. Went straight through my thumb, dude. The day after I took acid, and like and the second time around, it happened again. Late,
There's a
like
trigger warning on this one.
later. But I was only a seasonal worker, and I was the best box maker there because I pump out like tons of boxes for flowers, and fucking eventually they let me back in there because nobody else was doing it. Um, Otherwise, I'd just be putting out flowers or unloading trucks, doing stupid shit. Yeah, the acid and the next day going to work, like even though I kind of was there, but really wasn't. I couldn't control my brain. I couldn't make the boxes like I usually do. I could punch them out like fucking pancakes. Nothing.
Oh, it affected your performance.
Oh yeah, man, my fucking brain was completely
They
scrambled.
do. They say that drugs do that,
Yeah,
but
the acid the next day.
I think that's one of the like the reasons for drug tests, or one of the concerns.
Yeah,
If they come up positive, is what kind of employee, like what kind of the efficacy of you as an employee.
I gotta tell you, man, when I was younger, I loved to smoke sativa pot. When I didn't even know it was sativa, I just thought it was this next Mexican brickweed,
That was sativa
and
pot.
that is sativa, yeah. And
The
so
dirt weed, because we used to get that too. That was sativa.
yeah, and that stuff.
We didn't have all we had was weed. We didn't have sativa and indica. We just had weed, and a
Well,
lot of it was the Mexican dirt weed.
well, that pretty much is a sativa.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's what we were smoking.
That it comes from that lineage. But like I always found that I loved to work when I was high on that stuff. I'd fucking talk to these little old ladies and they all loved me, dude. I talked to them when I was high and I'd make them feel good. I miss that. It was like good old days. Get high on some sativas and do some hard work. You know, man, fucking. And I could get drunk the night before, not have a problem, and like fucking 45. If I even try that, I am dead.
Hmm.
And with MS makes it like the hangover is like 10,000 times worse. It's not like a headache, it's like your nervous system completely distorted. Distorted. Done with the booze, man. Fuck all that.
Man, it's still early tonight.
Yeah,
You have anything going on where you are?
here it's 11:41. Not really. Nothing's ever going on here. Nobody comes around.
Well,
That's
not here either.
dropping some
Barely.
fucking offer. Lucky I had my friend put in my air conditioners downstairs because the two were busted and it's getting hot. Not way too hot, like 90 something. You know, let me see. See what it is
Let me
now.
peek into verbal combat. See what. Oh, effigy is no. That's not effigy. That's somebody else. They're having a one-on-one.
What's that?
You know, where two people debate,
Oh yeah.
and then one of them gets voted off.
Wow, it's 76 and my fucking air conditioner's coming on. Damn it. The fuck's wrong with this thing? This should not be on. Maybe it's just because of the humidity. Maybe that's it.
Maybe it's one of those microphone thermostats. The government's turning it off and on because they want you miserable and suffering.
Well, I gotta tell you, man, I think I might have a fake bird living on top of it.
Did you see where China has drones now that look like birds?
Yeah,
And they flap their wings like a
dude,
bird?
that it's been going on. I think like everywhere they know how to do it if they got the money and the power and they can blow money on anything. But fucking, I thought for sure there's something really off about this bird. It's right on top of my air conditioner unit because it had its ass and feathers up in the air in my face as I was looking through the window above the air conditioner. It had its ass and it was just sitting there. And I banged the
What do
window.
I... Go ahead.
I banged the window and it didn't move.
It
It
just
just
sat there with his ass
it
and
just
feathers,
it
too.
didn't care. It didn't give a shit. And then fucking it took hours for it to sit down and then do what it was gonna do. And it came back again. I
Maybe
had
there's something weird going on with the animals in general, because I got into a stare-off with the cat the other day. It was crossing the little path, and I was looking out the window, and I like meowed at it. and it turned and it stared, and it just kept looking, and like for 5 minutes it just stared, and I walked away, and I came back like a minute or two later, and it was still looking at the window. It was creepy, and it took like 10 or 15 minutes for that cat to keep walking and to stop staring at me.
Yeah, cats can be fucking shitty like that, especially if they're nasty. But that bird, I mean, like it had its little.
It was a pigeon.
Well, yeah, I think it was a pigeon. I'm pretty sure it was making noises. I think were pigeon noises. And it's when its little birds got hatched. I could hear them every morning. I heard the damn things, and it was just like, oh my god, I want to stop. I thought it was like mice again. I thought, shit, not mice again, not mice
No,
again.
it's a bird.
Yeah,
Show-
with the
Showing its ass,
little pigeonlets with its little dude. But it
literally.
was like, I swear to God, it looked like it was freaking. It bumped its ass up and down, up and down. Maybe it was laying eggs like that. I don't know. Maybe it was trying to loosen it up. I don't know, man. It was like bumping its butt up and down with its feathers.
Yeah, maybe it was like engaged in something, and it
I think
did could didn't
that might
it
have been it, man.
didn't have the bandwidth to worry about you.
But like, yeah, man, it's pretty cool though. Like, that mother would sit there with its little birds, and like it would fly away only when another bird would come back and watch its birds. One bird would come, and like I've noticed it once or twice. It would come, and then the mother bird would fly away, and I guess it needed a break or had to do something else, whatever. But I thought that was pretty cool. It was like teamwork. Like I had
How am I always the one lucky enough to end up with this content gold?
what's
Like I
that?
get the best stories on this stream.
Well, thank you, man. That's just
I never know when I get up and turn this on. I never know what treat I'm gonna be in for that day.
yeah. I got the birds that love the birds that love to freak when they give eggs. They pass
Well,
it.
y'all keep bringing it, I guess. But there's a tier for it somewhere, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm just glad the mice are gone, man. I had mice really bad till they.
Well, you had that cat. Even like, I'm surprised you had any animal, any living thing at all,
Dude,
with that cat around.
that's the thing, man. They were showing up. Even it was about the time he wasn't doing anything. Wasn't coming up and down the steps anymore, and he was just laying around. And I knew he was dying. And so fucking, they just stuck around. I was just like, my God, this is quite a kick in the ass. I get my half serval cat is gone. My 22-year-old cat is gone now. I've got these mice. The thing that took care of it was they redid my roof. Never again. I heard them. Never again. Redid my roof. They made a lot of fucking noise, and a lot of them were living up there or in my walls. I guess
Oh, still.
they were not
Oh.
anymore. I used to hear them like scratch, 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 like it, or they were trying to climb the fucking drywall. These things are crazy, man. But I haven't seen them in a long time, thank God. Not since the new roof. Yeah, so I guess like if you ever have mouse problem in your house and you need a new roof, just get your new roof and you might get rid of it at
Just
the same
change your
time.
roof.
Might work. It worked for me. I tried a bunch of things, man. I tried these awful, god awful pitches on the internet, like on YouTube. There's these pitches you can play, these frequencies. Oh my god. Some of them are real silent though, which are fine.
To drive the mouse. I remember growing up, they had those roach
Yeah,
motel devices that would put out a signal to drive the roaches away.
yeah. On
And
YouTube,
don't they have one for snakes that you can put in your garden?
maybe do. Who knows? Like they have something you can plug in your wall that has a frequency for mice, and probably also the roaches and God knows what else.
I wish you could get one for StreamYard to keep the trolls away. That would be a good feature to build in.
Right. Some sort of troll powder.
Yeah.
Dude,
Just
fucking boric acid that powder, that stuff gets rid of roaches. Like, you have to really put it around everywhere. They have to know it's there or they'll never go away. I mean, you basically have to cake your house in it. And, like, not literally, but in a lot of places, the cracks in your floor, your walls, wherever they may be coming in, that's good. And also, cinnamon gets rid of ants. That's no kidding. I got rid of my ants like a long time ago. I had thousands. It was like a horde. I had a bunch of them, and I have so much cinnamon all over the floor out there. I didn't care. I didn't live with anybody. I wasn't trying. I don't rent because my parents own this house, so I just kept pouring it on the floor, and the ants went away. And I put it, like I said, in where I think they're coming in too. Like, but like now, it's all caked on that floor, that wooden part of the floor.
the cinnamon is still on the floor?
Yeah, it's been
Oh
there
my
for
god.
years. I just never got.
Oh, okay.
And like it kind of looks like somebody took a shit on the floor. Kind of like over time, just kind of caked up. Like looks real brown, dark. It looks really disgusting. I should get somebody to clean my house, but uh, I don't have money.
I think I'm ready for another tier of conversation. We might have exhausted this vein for tonight.
Well, man, it's your call, man.
I'm, I'm, I don't know. It's an open panel. Are there any other takers? Anyone interested in coming up and chatting? Otherwise, I might.
I'm bringing the tear down.
Well, no, you're not bringing it down, but you're telling stories that definitely from their own tier, and you're not the only one.
Well,
There's
I'm just
others I hear this kind of stuff from, but there's
talking about getting rid of pests, dude. I know how to do it.
yeah,
I've gotten rid of them.
yeah, there's all kind of interesting animal stories tonight.
Well, it's never fun when you got mice and roaches and ants in your house.
I know.
And,
I can imagine.
and it's funny to watch ants around the cinnamon. Like in my kitchen, they would like run around in circles, like they were like fucking crazy.
We used to have these little grains that you would sprinkle on all the ant pile. When you saw ant pile, you could go get the little jar that had the grains in it and sprinkle it on the ant pile.
The grains that didn't like
They, I don't know what they were. They were like little irregular shaped grains of yellow. I don't know what they were. They like little. If you took a piece of cord and chopped it up real small, it kind of looked like that, but it was some chemical.
it was like a natural like
I don't
something.
know what it was. It didn't have a label. It's just in a jar.
And I love cinnamon though. Fucking Saigon cinnamon's the best. And just start eating. I put it in when I have a shake. I pour some in there. Some good stuff.
Okay, Daniel has some advice as well for our entertainment channel because I can't verify any of this. So take it at your own risk. Use your own judgment. I remember the fly paper and the didn't they have some roach thing where the roaches would get stuck? I remember they had a
Yeah,
roach motel
yeah. The same.
because the thing was the commercial was like the roaches check in, but they don't check out.
Yeah, that was like an that must have been before my time, or maybe I was very young back.
I think, or I'm Mandeling myself.
Well, I don't know. I think that I remember they were getting popular when I was a kid, the roach motels, and yeah, maybe I saw that ad for.
Oh no, they still have them. I'm looking at the box right now. Roach
They're,
Motel.
they You check in, but they don't check out. You have to dump them out. But then the box, I don't know. Can you reuse the box?
Enjoy your stay, sir.
I used to have them sitting around,
Oh,
and
I remember. Oh God, I do remember it. I think I watched it on acid one day. But it was one of my. I had a good friend. It was one of his favorite movies. He talked about it all the time.
yeah, boric acid powder, man, that'll get rid of roaches. But you gotta know where to pour it, how to use it. You know what? Actually, you can put it in cat food, and that'll get rid like that. They'll go for that, the cat food, and not know the boric acid powder. They kind of like that anyway, but it fucks them up, and they take it back to their hives, and they don't come back. It happened for me, so I live in a on a well, pretty much Section 8 street, so these houses are not really, yeah, like a neighborhood. Depending
But
on how,
is that? But is that Julia Child, or is it from a movie? I mean, I know it's like a play on Bon Appetit,
and bone up a tit.
but is it somebody in particular that says it with that accent, or is it from a movie? Oh, from Joe's. Okay, from Joe's apartment. Um, I like epistemology. How do we know what's true? What is knowledge? How do we know when we have it? What's real? Um, I like to think about ethics. I don't necessarily like to get into big debates about morality, but I like to. Again, I think it's tied to epistemology. How do we know when we're doing the right thing? It all revolves around knowledge. For me, philosophy is I'm logocentric. It's knowledge centered around knowledge, like finding, making truth, sense making, finding what's true, that kind of stuff. Also, I guess existential too, in a way. Like, what is the meaning? We're here. What do we do now? What does it all mean? We may have Mr. Ricardo come up. I've never had him on before. Ricardo, can you flash real quick so I know it's you? You don't have to stay on cam. Cute. Um, gold. Oh, I'm sorry. He's trying to connect. He's not fully connected yet, so we'll see what happens. But we may have another panelist.
Yeah, man. Um, it's sometimes good to bounce thoughts around. It's good to have a few people.
Yeah, I just like to think. I've always been curious, and I was one of the kids that asked a million questions. I was curious about everything. Why is it this way? How does this work? And the adults pretty much left me on my own and humored me and didn't really indulge me much. So I we had encyclopedias, I had library cards, we had bookmobiles, so I was always following my curiosity wherever it led. If I wanted to know something, I could run to the encyclopedia and find that article. And so I didn't really have to bother the adults. So I was left on my own to pursue my curiosity, and I think that's kind of where it all started. And then in the 7th grade, when I went to that school, they started us reading Plato and books like 1984 and Brave New World, and so that opened up actual, and we would discuss it. So we would read and discuss, and that opened up actual philosophy as an activity that I could do, um, not only solitarily but with other people. So I could now read and pursue philosophy on my own, and then I had other people that I could discuss it with.
And nowadays that's shunned. 1984, they don't want that in a lot of schools.
Who's saying that?
Uh, well, the school systems in a lot of fucking SJW states, like
What is their beef with 1984 now? It was
they
because it was
they
written
don't
by a white guy.
know because it was about the fucking government taking over your entire everything,
Yeah, it was
or
about
how,
totalitarianism, the
yeah,
extremes
and
of.
like they've been taking that out, and like I shit you not, man, they've been gutting libraries out of of a lot of stuff that used to read, a lot of stuff that had anything to do with dissent of any kind that was against whatever's going on now in like the SJW world, the woke, the DEI, the whole that whole thing, that all those things. That it's like a big web of shit. And like they've been really changing schools a lot. The whole curriculum, everything. You noticed that, right? The curriculums, they're screwing up.
Well, a lot of the curriculum's determined at the local level, but I'm looking at it right now. They have a whole article trying to figure out if 1984 was banned because there was a Facebook post. Um,
I heard about
so
that.
so they're trying to see if it's a social media hoax or if it's a real thing, but I'm still trying to figure it out from this article.
A lot, a lot of books have been taken out of different libraries. There's been a lot of articles and videos about it. But not every school is doing that. But some places that are just stupid, like the ones that'll turn kids into sexes that they weren't born.
I remember I remember the 2 + 2 = 5 meme, but it was more a social media thing. And woke. It was coming from a lot of woke people were doing it, like social justice warriors. But I
Mhm.
don't remember any actual serious mathematicians posting it. I associate it more with like a progressive left social media meme. But I did get into a discussion one time about the rationality behind it. And first of all, they're not using like what is it? Our Newtonian math or whatever our math system is, it's a totally different paradigm. But when you understand the paradigm they're using, they kind of got it to make sense a little bit. But none of it applied to the real world.
Well,
And I don't remember what their argument was.
there is no argument with 2 + 2. I mean, what in the end, like they broke him so he could see what a few fingers. How many fingers am I holding up? And then he
Oh,
could,
you mean in 1984? Yeah,
yeah, and what wasn't the 2 + 2 = 5 from that also?
yeah.
Yeah, that
Because
kind of shit.
freedom is the freedom to say 2 + 2 = 4.
Yeah, I hate to see that happening to a lot of Western nations where like it's happening in like a slow drip.
I don't think it's. I don't think they're taking kids in rooms and putting them in rat cages on their head and
No, no,
and
no,
making them profess that 2 + 2 = 5. I don't think we're
no,
quite
no,
there yet.
no. We're not nowhere near that. But like, people are getting stupid, man. Like,
Yeah, that's not Orwell's fault though. They bid. I bid seeing
I
that
didn't say that.
happen.
I didn't say that was Orwell's fault, but yeah, he fucking like it like I don't know why they wanted to ban that book, but like a lot of schools
It's
have.
not banned. It's not banned to the extent you think it's banned here in the U.S. anyway. Russia banned it, but they probably ban all kind of stuff.
Well, I was in the U.S. Like they banned a lot of books. Like also Brave New World. That was another on the ban list. Maybe not everywhere. I'm just saying, like from the news clips I saw, and not coming from the mainstream media, MSNBC, CNN. They don't fucking dude. I don't trust them. As no way. That they lie by omission. That's one of their ways of lying. But like the best news you can find is outside of our country, and actually some places in Canada who still actually have news there. Like
Well, I
Rebel.
think it's good to have multiple sources and to use your critical thinking.
Yeah, man, you should check out Rebel News, man. That's a Canadian. It doesn't have ads because they got taken away at freedom to do that, monetize, because they're talking about shit that the Canadian government didn't like. So they're demonetized, but they're still on here. Rebel News. They are actually fun to watch. They have a lot of stuff about all around the world that's going on. Yeah,
Okay, I asked the AI and it said no, 1984 has never been banned nationwide in the U.S. I don't think we have like a nationwide book ban
yeah, it's
thing,
not
but
nationwide.
it says it has been challenged and banned in individual schools and libraries.
Exactly. That's what I meant to say. I mean, like, it's not like it's everywhere. It's just like in
So it's
certain
just
places.
figuring out the scale that it's being banned at.
Yeah, I mean, fucking, it can't be banned everywhere because, I mean, shit, man. Wouldn't you think the boomer grandparents or parents would be like, what the hell? Why are you banning this? Because, like, they would want their kids to be able to read that, you know, and they can't come home from school with that book. They'll complain, you know, enough people complain.
Well, parents complaining is not necessarily banning a book, though.
No, I mean like if they like the book and they want their kids to read it and it's not in the library. Like if it's not there, then that kind of says something.
Yeah, I mean, who uses libraries anyway anymore?
Right? Exactly, dude. Exactly. It's a good
I'm
point.
not worried that the U.S. citizen that wants to read 1984 will not have access to it. That's not a concern of mine at all.
I mean, I watched the flick. I mean, that kind of it was kind of like paraphrasing the book in a way, kind of like all movie based off a book, you
You talking
know.
about the one from 1984, like one from the 80s with
Yeah, yeah.
Cyril Cusack,
Yeah, yeah, who was that British actor that
and the Eurythmics did the soundtrack to it, and it was excellent. Although most of it didn't get
John
used in the show.
John Hurt, was that his name? John Hurt. And he yeah, are we talking about the same 1984?
The one from the 80s, I think it
Yeah,
came out around 1984.
it was in the 80s. That's right. Yeah,
I don't know if they've done another one
it had
since.
the yeah, that was the one we're talking about, the same one. It had John Hurt in it. He's actor. He was in that movie about the guy who was thrown into Turkish prison for hash.
Oh, Kiss of a Spider Woman.
No, the uh something
I'm thinking of William Hurt.
no, John Hurt. He's this little old frail British dude. Well, not frail, just old. You know, kind of like in every movie he was in. And in 1984, when he had that younger woman, it was kind of weird. It's just like, wow, man, this old dude's like it. To me, he was kind of really old. He might have been in his late 40s. And that you remember the movie 1984, right? And the main actor John Hurt.
Well, the main guy I thought was Cyril Cusack.
No, that was John Hurt. Uh,
The Winston Smith, the main guy.
yeah, yeah.
No,
Look it up. Or I'll look it up. Let me look
yeah, I
at.
have it pulled up.
Uh, nice.
Oh, you're right. It is John. Oh, Cyril Cusack was the guy, the old guy. You're right. John Hurt was Winston Smith.
That's right. Yeah, that he's been in quite a few movies. He's a great actor for what he was in. You know, like what he does. Back. He's probably long gone now.
2017.
Damn, that was quite a while ago. It feels like a while ago. Feels like forever ago. Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. So I made my new accordion tighter, and I don't know if it's a good idea, man. He Mark had put two little holes in it in order to make it leak just a little bit, and I know why he did it. But you can, in order to, if you're gonna play and push and pull, it's gonna be way too tight if it doesn't have somewhat of a leak in it. But forever and ever, people have used the air regulator as the And that's the way Mark always did it, and that's the way I learned to do it. So then all of a sudden, his accordions have leaks, and that's cool because you don't want to bust piccolo reed, and you want to make it easier to play. And everybody and their mother was telling me that my accordions played like the bellows need to break in, yada yada yada. And I'm just like, dude, you need to learn how to use the air regulator button on the back. That's the necessary fart that you need to have, like that air, that's puff of air. Um, and I closed off those leaks, so I'm gonna have to see how it feels. If it feels too tight, I'm gonna get rid of them just by using a pin.
Hmm.
I put reed wax over top the holes, and that's what I did today. I molested my new Acadian. No, but I've done more than that, man. I fucking gave it. I got a gold leaf nameplate. Everything's bling bling on this fucker. My 2014 Acadian. It's like every few years I buy an Acadian. It never ends, man. One of these days.
I don't think it's delusional to not believe things that you don't have evidence for. If you think that makes me deluded, that's fine. I don't think that's the definition of delusion that I use.
Hmm?
Well, they were both dystopian visions of different types of societies, but I think they both try to explore some of the dangers in the different ideologies that they're based on.
Yeah, yeah, and it's not too far off from a lot
Well,
of.
it is fiction, though. I mean, keep in mind, both of these are works of fiction. And so I still think we have human agency in the world's whatever we make it into. We're not bound by either of those two books. They're not prophecies, they're just fiction.
Yes, they are. Yeah, they're just dumb fictions. But they are good for kids to read. I mean, just to get an idea, different idea about somebody's way of writing.
Bex, are y'all doing? Is he up for another one? All right, y'all twisted my arm. If we could fit another one in, I'll wrap this one up. After I enjoy some of this music that's taking me back home.
Oh shit! Is that okay? Does that sound okay?
Huh? I mean, the usual. It comes in and out, but it
Yeah.
sounds okay enough for me to get a little taste of it. Hey, Frank, this is my people. You fucking with my people. Leave my culture alone. Let me enjoy a little bit of my culture for a few seconds. You know, I don't get a lot of this up here. That's probably another reason I rock. Because our music is that, they call it chanky chank. It has that like rocking rhythm to it. This is probably what they rocked me to when I was a baby. And not only that, we had the little wind up chairs. You stick the baby in the chair, you wind it up, and then the chair rocks the baby on its own for how many hours. So we had that too. So we all rock. They had us all rocking as baby. I think mine just stuck because of the autism. It was soothing. All right. Well, Busker, you want to play us out for the night? I can get my own live closing credits.
Well, I thought we're having a new guest up.
Here, I'll give you a solo.
Oh,
Oh, is that was it?
well, I can keep playing if you want.
Oh.
Get the word, man.
Well, no, that was good. I'll take that as a close. All right, I'm gonna wrap up here. They're pulling me into Discord to watch another Survivor. It's rare that we get one this late at night, so I'm gonna take advantage of it.
Cool beans, brother. Yeah.
All right, well, you take care, and we'll see you again.
Take
Okay. Everyone else, thanks for head. You make my job so hard. Spike, good to see you. Um, and y'all know I'll be here tomorrow. Oh, by the way, P.F. Young is doing his morning show, so if you like to call in and argue with people, he loves that. Uh, you have to cam up. That's his only rule, but I'll drop the link. And this was my panel daddy. This is this project here, this community grew out of P.F. Young. So give him a like, subscribe. Not that he needs it. He has a gajillion viewers now. I mean subscribers. But yeah, give him a support. He'll be there tomorrow, and I'll be in the comments clowning around, and then I'll probably fire up a stream after that. So take care, everyone, and see you later. All right.